It's 5:30 in the morning and everyone's asleep except for Patricia because she's headed to Home Depot. Yes, it is. It's 5:30 in the morning. I was up late last night painting, so I still have paint on my hands. It won't come off. But I can't worry about my painty hands because we are doing something new today. We are sanding down and restaining hardwood floors. I'm really nervous about this because it's my first thing that I'm doing here that I feel like is really irreplaceable. Even the welding that my dad had me doing, if you get welding wrong, you just start over. And it's harder the second time, but it can be done. Staining a floor, if you over sand your floors or you sand them in an incorrect manner or with the wrong grit, you can ruin your floors. So potentially with the 700 square foot that I am sanding down and refinishing today, I could be causing thousands of dollars worth of damage. So I just want to make sure that I'm doing it correctly. The reason I'm up so early is not only because it is an all-day thing. It can take 14, 15 hours, and I have to remove all of the trim in every single room before we start, which took longer than I thought it would in my room, so I'm just trying to give myself enough time, but also because I have to rent the machine from Home Depot. So it's first come, first serve. They wouldn't let me reserve it. And it's not like I think a lot of people are going to be chomping at the bit this morning and we happen to be sanding our floors, but I also just don't want to run that risk. I want to make sure that I get there and that I can do this project today because I don't have a lot of time to do the project other days. It's a perfect little window for me to do this because my dad, Jeff, and Brian all are taking the entire weekend off for Father's Day, as they should. And so this is the opportunity that I have to be in the house by myself, but have a full day, a full 12-hour day, not just my 4-hour windows after work to get this done. The first thing I did when I got over to the house was I moved all of the things I had sitting on the hardwood into the kitchen. Obviously, it would be pretty difficult to sand the floors with all of this in the way, so it had to go. Next, I gave the floors a quick sweep to get rid of the rest of the debris, and then I began cutting the existing caulk with a knife so that it would be easier to remove the baseboards from the wall. On the YouTube video I watched, a trick of the trade that he gave me was to label each one of the pieces of trim that come off so that you know where it came from. However, this one's kind of in rough shape and I might just toss it and cut a new one. By now you know I'm pretty much a pro at removing baseboard trim. However, when I went into Jay's office to remove the trim, I made sure to screw back in all of the face plates, that way I didn't lose anything during this process. I also went ahead and removed all of the blue tape because we were already done painting, so we wouldn't need it anymore. I quickly vacuumed everything up once I was done, and little did I know here, I was going to become very good friends with this shop vac by the end of the day. Next, I attached the sanding pads and got started. Now, there's one thing I have to mention. This thing weighs about 95 pounds. I was able to get it into the house by myself through sheer stubbornness, and that wasn't smart. I could have gotten really hurt, so make sure you have someone help you. After spending a comedically long time trying to figure out how to turn the thing on, I found the switch and immediately panicked. But everything was working just as it should have been, so there was nothing left to do but get started. Now, I started in the middle of the floor, which you really shouldn't do. You want to start off to the side. I also made sure to rent a random orbital sander because they're a lot more forgiving. And as you know, this is my first time doing this, so I needed that additional safety net. All in all, it took about 20 minutes to complete the first pass on the entire floor. Hey, Dad.
What are you doing? What?
I'm doing the best I can. Hi, Mom. What a pleasant surprise.
I wouldn't use anything grittier than 50. And then I got some more 80s.
Well, I will take the 40s off.
The 40s are
My dad wasn't supposed to come over today because it's Father's Day, but he just couldn't help himself. He's such a helper. Next, I took an edger and went around the edges of the living room. This is gonna sound lazy, and it may be partially due to the fact that I have been doing this for about 10 hours today already, but I kind of like how this is looking, only half sanded. Check it out. It gives it a washed out farm look, and I think that looks really cool, and it looks good with the gray walls and the blue wall. I kind of want to keep it just like this. Oh, I feel like that's so lazy, but I love it. I'm gonna keep it like that. It looks really good. I'm gonna keep it like that. Today, we are doing something completely new to me. I am going to attempt to put wallpaper on this wall and finish up Jay's study. I've never used wallpaper before. I've taken it off and it was a humongous pain, so I hope it's not as much of a pain to put on, but just in case, I did get all of the tools that were suggested. So I got this thing to smooth it out and this roller for the seams. I don't know how to use them, but I can learn. I haven't even opened it yet. I wanted to open it on camera, so let's take a look and hopefully it's as good as it looked on the website. Okay, yeah. Yep, not hating that. Oh. Okay, so here's my dilemma. The wallpaper, I think, looks really good with this green. I think it matches really well. I like how they look together. However, on the website, this was advertised as a textured wallpaper. And textured, it is not. It is flat and there's no texture. I can't decide because I think it could look good, but I liked the thought of being able to like put your hand on it and feel this coarser texture, and that's just not gonna be there. I don't know if I wanna do this tonight because what if I put it up and I don't like it? What if this wallpaper reflects off of the light in a bad way and I end up hating it once it's on the wall? Okay. I mean, those are the cards we were dealt. I decided I was gonna send back the wallpaper. I talked to Jay about it and he told me that my entire motto throughout this whole thing is if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right. And unfortunately, he's correct. He used my own words against me. I didn't want to put up wallpaper that I wasn't happy with because I would not get happy with it. It's not going to grow on me. It's just gonna be that one thing that I regretted not doing right. This week has been kind of a frustrating one. Even though I had the same grit on the random orbital sander as I used on the edger seemed to take a lot more off. So I had to go back through and spot stain the edges to make it look even. It's almost 4th of July weekend, if you're wondering where we're at in the process. I know these videos get posted about 2.5 weeks behind. We should have our new wallpaper that's actually textured coming in, so we can install that on the 5th and then put in the trim in Jay's room. And then we can cry. But until then, we will hold back the tears. This stain is oil stain, so it's gonna take about 4 to 6 hours to dry. So we're done with this for tonight. I'm gonna come back tomorrow, which is Friday, and sand all of these spots so they blend much nicer. And then on Saturday, we're gonna come back, and if I like what I see, we're going to put a clear satin coat down to seal these floors. And hopefully that means they will be completely done, which will be our first finished project since we painted those ceilings. Okay, let's look at the ceilings again. Don't they look so good? Oh my gosh. Now that the new stain had dried, it was time to go back and hand sand all of these spots, and I built up some muscles. Naturally, I kept myself very motivated by going on Facebook and complaining about it. My friend challenged me to write an impromptu song about it. Challenge accepted. Another unexpected bump like always, to stop my progress in its place. And for once I'd like to say that a project's gone my way, but I'm in over my head, it's clear as day. Alright, enough of that. It's the next morning and it's time to take a tack cloth and go against every square inch of this floor so that we pick up the remaining sawdust. This is a necessary step so that our final finish isn't gritty. Because this wasn't the original plan for the floor, I had to go back to Menards and swap out my stain for a clear coat. When I first started staining the floor, I got kind of nervous because it started to amber, but luckily after the clear coat dried, it went back to more of a gray. The first coat has been finished, and I'll put on the second one tomorrow morning. I finished the second and third coats on the second day, and now it was time to reattach the trim. I'm feeling really good about today's progress. I've put all of the baseboards back on in the main living area. My dad and Jeff got that spigot moved for outside for the hose, and we got a new board to replace the old board that was cut in half from where the old spigot used to be. That is the biggest ant I've ever seen in my life. That's my finger next to it. Oh my gosh, it's massive. Tomorrow I'm planning on coming back and painting the bedroom and the trim in Jay's office space. And then the next day I'm going to put the new wallpaper up that I got.
Threw this on there without any danger of messing up the nylon.
Dad, you can't just open things.
That's why they got these zip things, so you can open them.
Well, but you haven't paid for it.
It's the purpose of the bag.